The reason I chose to apply to be a NASPAGAP is because my program does a lot with NASPA Region 1, and I've had some really great experiences that led me to want to become more involved with NASPA, so that's why I chose to apply.
Great, thank you. How about Rachel?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Clark. I currently attend the University of Florida. I'm a first year in our higher education program. My assistantship is in the Dean of Students office here, and I applied to be a NASPA GAP member because I was really interested in getting involved in NASPA, and I felt like this was a great way to start that adventure. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Samantha?
Hi everyone, I'm Samantha Perrin. I'm a second year in the higher education program at the University of North Dakota. My assistantship is in career services, and I'm also working in the Dean of Students office to help launch our Green Dot Bystander Intervention program this semester. I applied to be a GAP because I worked a lot with the GAP from UND last year, and I attended a lot of her events and saw the really great things that she was able to do through that, and I really wanted to help expand that to help our students become more involved in NASPA.
Great, thank you. Shania?
Hi, my name is Shania Sloan. I'm a second year student at the University of Pittsburgh's Higher Education Management Program. My assistantship is at Point Park University. I work as an assistant resident director. I work primarily with upperclassmen students. And the reason why I applied to be a GAP is because I had a very good previous relations with NASPA, and I was hoping to continue and to learn more about what I can do as a graduate student in terms of being involved in NASPA.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone that we missed that maybe called in just on their phone and they're not connected to the system?
Hi, my name is Candace Bernardo. I am a second year from Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. My GA is in student involvement and leadership, and I'm very interested in GAP because I went to NASPA in New Orleans, and I met quite a few GAP interns there, and I'm so excited to be working with you all.
Great, thank you.
And hello, my name is Alex. I am a second year graduate student up here at Grand Valley State University. My assistantship is in fraternity and sorority life. And I wanted to be a part of the program because I wanted to further my education of the association as well as build a better connection between our administration and our graduate students and the association. So yeah.
Great, thank you. Anyone else out there? Okay. All right. So just a heads up for you all, most of our monthly calls will not consist of me talking as much as I will today. But because this is the orientation, we just wanted to make sure that we're providing a general overview of what NASPA is and what your role is as a graduate associate. Throughout this call, if you have any questions or if you need clarification, feel free to speak up and ask that question. That's what we're here for, to learn from each other. But if you all do not have any questions right now, I'll go ahead and get started. And also, because this is our last call, we're recording this, just so you're aware, for people who are not able to make the calls this week. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So the context of NASPA, I would highly suggest for all of you to visit the NASPA website and just really scroll through and take a look around and learn more about the different resources and educational opportunities that we offer as an association. It'll be really interesting to check out the history, and if some of you do not know this, NASPA was originally founded almost 100 years ago by a group of men who were deans of students on different campuses, and they felt that they needed a space every year to come together and meet and talk about their experiences on their campus. And so it's really interesting to see, NASPA was 6 men, and now we have 15,000 plus members almost 100 years later. And so what does that mean for us as an association, and who are we? So definitely recommend checking out the history history. And I mean, that would take hours for me to sit here and talk to you all about it. But it'll be a really great tool for you to know more of where we come from as an organization. So when you are engaging with people on your campus, and if they have questions about who we are as an organization, you're able to answer that. So looking at NASPA within the larger association community, we are the largest organization that focuses specifically on student affairs and higher education. Oftentimes when you're hearing about professional associations and your grad programs, you hear ACPA and NASPA. And people like to say there's a competition between the two organizations. And it's important to know that we have a lot of partnerships. There are programs that we partner with ACPA on, we work with ACUI, and lots of different associations across the country and even the world. One of our most well-known partnerships will be the professional competencies, which was put together by a joint task force between ACPA and NASPA. And so the professional competencies originally were published in 2010, and within the next couple months, they have recently updated the professional competencies and even added a new one focusing on technology. And so that'll be coming out really soon, and that's one of our most popular partnerships within the association community. Another partnership that we hold very close to us is our relationship with ACUI, and the two organizations together host the Placement Exchange, which is the largest on-site job placement for people who work in higher education and student affairs. So for any of you who are second-year students and thinking about going into that job search in the next couple months, the Placement Exchange is a really great resource just to learn more about job opportunities that are out there in the field. So when you're on your campus and people are asking you, like, why should I become a member of NASPA versus ACPA? It's, the best way to explain it is it's kind of like if you are someone who drinks soda, are you a Coke or a Pepsi person? They're very similar organizations, but it's different, and you have to decide what's your fit. So for me, when I was working on a campus, I held a membership with both organizations, and even got involved within like leadership positions with both ACPA and NASPA. And at one point before I officially started working here, I decided to find my professional home, and for me, it was NASPA. And mostly it was because I have been affiliated with this organization since I was an undergraduate student through their NASPA undergraduate fellowship program. And so because of that, I really felt that NASPA was a better fit for me. And some people might feel differently, and that's totally fine. It's just we're two big associations that are very generalist. We're not a NOTA, so we don't focus specifically on orientation. We do offer resources related to first year transition and family and parent programs, but we're not an orientation based program. And so that's just something to know a little bit more about who we are as an organization. And then thinking about the future of NASPA, just recently our board approved the strategic plan for the next 3 years. And so next week I'll be following up with you all with some additional content about what we talked about today and just some resources to help you as you start your position as a graduate associate. And one of those documents will be the NASPA strategic plan. So you all will be some of the first people who will be able to see that. So that's really exciting. So next is just a general summary of your role as a NASPA graduate associate. Just to give you a little background, GAP was created a couple of years ago by graduate interns that worked in the NASPA office. And the reason this program was created is because as an organization, NASPA has realized that, we have to provide leadership opportunities and create a pipeline for our graduate students and new professionals because often people say you're the future of the field, and I would push back and say you are the field. You are doing the work right now in your graduate programs, and so wanting to create a leadership opportunity for graduate students to get engaged with us as an organization is kind of where this opportunity came from. And so in a way, you all serve as liaisons for us back on your campus, and we share information with each other. There are going to be some things that we introduce to you that our general membership probably will not know until a couple months later, and it's because we really want, to lean on you and provide a leadership opportunity for you and an awareness and involvement within our organization. So briefly, I'll review the GAP responsibilities. These were all listed on the application when you applied, but that was months ago. So I'll go ahead and review these quickly. So part of your role as a GAP is to serve as a primary contact for individuals seeking info on how to get involved with NASPA. Just in case you don't know, we often have multiple people from the same institution apply for GAP, but we only accept one person from every institution. And the reason why is because we want that one person to serve as the primary contact. So if anyone ever has questions about NASPA, they would know I go to this person to get those questions answered. During our monthly calls, you all will have the opportunity to provide us with feedback on what programs and services students and professionals on your campus would like to see from NASPA. And so I would definitely encourage you all to use our monthly calls to share with us, what's happening on your campus, what are conversations that you're having in your classes, what are people wanting to see from a professional association, and what can we do to help create this inclusive professional home for all people who want to get involved. And in your role, you will actively outreach to students, and there are multiple ways that you'll be able to outreach to students and professionals through different events that you all would put on through your position. You all will share different NASPA initiatives, programs, and events to constituents on your campus. You will provide updates about different things that you're doing to engage your campus community related to NASPA to other graduate associates, specifically those who are in your monthly calls. And you all are required to coordinate 4 events throughout the academic year. And I'll talk a little bit more about what those events will look like. And you all are required to hold an active NASPA membership during the duration of your term. And so just as a reminder, I've sent a couple of email communications about updating your NASPA membership. So everyone will need to either update or purchase a membership by October 1st. And we'll be able to pull names October 2nd just to confirm if your membership is up to date. Okay. So here's just a list of important resources to help support your role as a graduate associate. So in a little bit, I'll be talking about the different list of events that you can do as a GAP. But before that, whenever I share resources with you, we are going to create like an application, and it's an event form for you all to fill out. And so over the next month, before our next call in October, I want you all to start thinking about what some of these outreach events could look like for you in your campus. And so I'll share a form with you that'll serve as your programming schedule, and you'll just write down some of your ideas for your 4 events. I don't need details right now, so I don't need to know this is the exact date, the time, the location. These are the people that I want to invite. Here's what the flyer is going to look like, or email communication. We just need to have a general idea of what you're thinking. So for example, when you fill out your programming schedule, you can just say, in March, I want to host a webinar party about the job search, because that's when people are really diving deep into that process. And so I'll provide more information about the programming schedule next week. The GAP reporting tool, this is used every time you complete an event. And so it's mostly for us in the NASPA office to just have a better idea of what your event looks like. So how many people were there, and just giving us an update of what you're doing as it's happening throughout the year. We will share with you all NASPA membership talking points. So there's a document that was created by our membership team to help address some frequently asked questions from people who are interested in exploring a NASPA membership. And so we will share that with you to provide support as you're engaging in your role on campus. NASPA membership brochures, we just recently printed new brochures, and we have them in our office, and currently there is not a formal process to request brochures to be shipped to you, But if you know that you have an event that's coming up and you would want some NASPA brochures to be at that event, if you can just send me an email and just let me know how many brochures you need and by what date and the address, and I can ship it to you. So please know that that is a resource that you can use, and just email me directly and I can make that happen. Right now, the brochure that we have is just like a general NASPA membership brochure. And then in the next 2 to 3 months, we will have one specifically for students. So again, just send me an email and I'll be able to ship those to you at no cost. We will also share an introduction to NASPA webinar. It's a pre-recorded presentation that just highlights the benefits and different ways that you can connect and get involved with NASPA as an organization. So here are some examples of GAP outreach events. So we have required events and then there's optional events. So on this slide, this is the 4 required events and you choose 2 from this list. So you can decide to host a webinar party. So because you all will be or already are NASPA members, you have access to different pre-recorded webinars or webinars that will be live as a member of the organization. And so next month is Careers and Student Affairs Month, and almost every week there is an online webinar that is happening. And so you if you're interested in like doing an event around Careers and Student Affairs Month, then you have access to that webinar. Another series of webinars that we offer is called Investing in Our Future. And so starting in November, we offer a webinar once a month that highlights one of the professional competencies. So that's another resource for you. We are in the process of having conversations with our director of online learning to see if we can get you all free access to our on-demand webinar package. And so within this package, it has over 100 different webinars that have happened in the past year or so. So I'll provide more updates to you if we're able to gain access to that package. And if you're if we're not able to gain the access, but you're interested in wanting to, be able to look at those webinars, I believe it's $50 with a NASPA membership. Another event you can choose, it's not an event, but you can choose to write a NASPA blog. So if you are actually returning this year as a GAP, this is something a little different because in the past couple years, every graduate associate was required to write a NASPA blog. And so this year you can choose to do it if you want. And so you can pretty much write a blog post about anything that you want that's related to higher education. So all you have to do is when you're filling out your programming schedule, just tell me what the theme of your blog will be and the tentative date of when you would want it to be posted. And then I will just follow up with you after that to get the blog from you. So you are aware the blog will be posted on the NASPA website through the GAP page. So it will be live. People can see it. So if you're someone who really likes writing and that's a passion of yours and you're very interested in a particular topic within student affairs and higher education, then maybe consider writing a blog to count as one of your required events. Another example is to do some programming during Careers and Student Affairs Month. So to give you an idea, last year someone hosted a panel discussion where they invited different people who represented multiple professional levels, and they provided information about their journey through student affairs and invited people to attend. So it didn't cost anything. It was just reserving a room, and that was one of their required events that was approved. You can also host a student affairs social, and so these are meant to be very relaxed networking events. And so some people choose to do it on campus, off campus. It's kind of whatever you're interested at the time. Other folks, like if you live in the city of Chicago or New York and there are multiple institutions, and if there's a gap that is at, an institution that's not too far from you, in the past we've had some gaps collaborate on a student affairs social and have it specifically for their region, which is totally fine. So all it is just like a meetup, so an opportunity for people who work in the field or who are interested in joining higher education to come together to network and learn more about NASPA as an organization. Okay. So some optional events that you can choose from. These are just examples of what people have done in the past. They've done a brown bag lunch and dinner with a professional they really admire. So just inviting people to come together and hear from a professional within the field. People have hosted resume workshops. So for those of you who are going to be job searching really soon, or if you're applying for summer internships, they coordinated a workshop where they invited the Career Development Center to come out and give people tips about having a very effective resume. You can host a membership drive. So if your division has monthly, divisional meetings or every semester, maybe you can ask if you can set up a table and have some membership brochures and talk about your role as a GAP and the benefits of joining NASPA. You can also do a publication and membership directory training. So you can highlight the different publications that we have as an organization and then show people how to use and maximize the membership directory. A lot of people don't even know that we have this directory that you can, if someone chooses to publish their information on the directory, you have access to that. And so you can easily find someone if you're interested in orientation and they're the director of new student programs at one institution that you're interested in. And then there you go, you have their information. So that's another example of an event that you can host. And so you will choose 2 required events, and then you have 2 events that you would choose that's up to your interest. So anything that you think would be great as a gap. So a reminder of our conference calls. So these are the weeks of the calls, and you'll notice it gets a little funky in the month of March, and it's because usually the calls are scheduled the first week of the month, and because we'll be getting ready for the annual conference, we decided to move this a little bit later. And then the times of the calls. So this year, we're being very intentional and trying to make sure that we are creating community within the gaps. And so if you think that you're not able to make the call one week because there's another meeting that came up, if you can just let me know by sending an email, that'll be great. Because if you think that you can make another call, it'll just be really important for us to know that you're joining in on that conversation, because we're really trying to create a bonding experience for you all. And so just trying to be very intentional with making sure that people are staying within their call times. So a couple of deadlines for you all to be aware of. Just final reminder, make sure you have a NASPA membership up to date by October 1st. Next month is Careers and Student Affairs Month. So I would suggest for you all going to the website and just looking at the different educational resources that are being offered in the month of October. And there's also a link that gives you some suggestions for engagement. So if you are wanting to do something next month as one of your required events, then I would definitely check that out. If you know of a student who is interested in going into student affairs and higher education, maybe recommending the NUF program, so the NASPA Undergraduate Fellowship Program, and if you think they meet the requirements, the final deadline is October 30th. If you are required to or interested in wanting to do a summer internship and living in DC for a summer sounds great, then you should consider applying for the NASPA Summer Graduate Internship Program. The deadline for that application is December 11th, and if you just go to the website, there's more information about that. And it's a really cool opportunity if you're wanting to learn more about what we do in the office, and as association. Like maybe, association work is a better fit for you than working on a campus in a traditional student affairs role. So every year we select one person to serve as a graduate intern, and they are required to attend the annual conference, and your registration and housing is provided. So if you're selected to be a summer graduate intern, then you're invited to go to the annual conference. And then another opportunity that we have is the NASPA annual conference intern. And so just so you all know, when we select people for these positions, we only look at folks who are currently in the GAP program. So that means this is open to you all only. And so we'll have more information in the next couple of weeks about the deadline. But we select about 8 to 10 students to serve as interns during the annual conference. And they provide a lot of administrative and programming support for us while on site. So if that's something that you would be interested in, you should definitely consider it. If you are planning to interview at the placement exchange, you can still apply to be a conference intern, but just kind of think about your what your time will look like if you're trying to interview for jobs and also be an annual conference intern. Okay. All right. Are there any questions? I have talked your ears off, I'm sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
My membership, I think it goes into January. Do I still need to update it? Or
That's fine. And then when it expires in January, then you can just purchase a new membership, but you're good right now.
okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Comments? All right. Well, if there is nothing, that is all that I have for you all today. Like I said, this was just a general orientation call, and we will kick off officially with content next month. So if you all ever have any questions or comments or need support in your role, please feel free to reach out to me by email or giving me a call in the office. You can also tweet at me, whatever works best for you. And please know that I, along with Nathan Victoria, we are here to provide support for you as a graduate associate, and expect an email from me within the next week or so highlighting a couple other important resources for you all. But if there are no other questions, I will give you your time back and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Yolanda?
Yes.
Sorry. Is this, I guess, presentation going to be available anywhere for us to see
Yes,
it?
I will. Yeah, I'll send it to you all.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Well, everyone, y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
You too. Thank
Thank
you.
you too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.